Yay! Welcome to another episode of Three Conservative Gimps, where we give you the lowdown from a conservative point of view on everything from the local, the city, the county, the state, the national, and even international. We give it all to you guys, so you guys know what's going on. Welcome to the show. We've got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff has been happening in the last, just few hours. So let's get this show on the road. Let's welcome my good friend all the way from Muskogee, Oklahoma. It is Lloyd Mendenhall. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, Art, and hello to everybody in the chat. I don't have the chat brought up, so whatever it brings up here, I'll get to see. But yeah, it's been a busy week for the
Yes.
president. Had a lot going on. The
Yes.
Senate's been working overtime and all that stuff. So
That's great. Let's welcome our other good friend all the way from New York. Let's welcome Charles Galusky. Welcome,
Hey, Art.
Charles.
Hey, Lloyd. Hey, everybody in the chat.
hey, Charles.
Howdy. So
Duty.
let's start with Lloyd first. How's the weather in good old Muskogee?
Colder than a well digger's butt in the Klondike right now.
Oh boy, yeah, we finally got above freezing today.
Yeah, well, we haven't yet. We won't get above freezing until sometime. I think this weekend we're having a hot spell. So I've already sent out a message to all my friends and family that I'm having my Naked by the Lake annual Spring Fest. So
there you go.
Come out there, jump in the water naked, and enjoy the sights. Yeah, no, not going to happen. It's going to warm up to a whole 50 degrees. You know?
Same here tomorrow, and then we get rain in the afternoon and probably some snow, and then we're back down the 30s and 20s for the weekend.
Yeah.
All right, how about you, Charles?
Well, we had a thankfully above freezing day.
Good.
I'm not sure exactly what good it's going to do quite yet, though, because there's still there was freezing rain for quite a few hours last night. Then we had regular rain and above freezing temperatures, so there's a lot of moisture out there. Well, but for most of the night, we're going to have higher than normal winds. So I'm hoping that the extra wind will sort of dry everything out, because we really want to go out and do stuff tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah. With luck, hopefully it'll be decent that you can get out tomorrow.
Yeah. All righty, so let's get this show on the road. So Trump wants to get rid of the U.S. Department of Education. Yay! Which has been the biggest boondoggle since its inception. When did that come back? That came online when, under Nixon or Carter? I think it was Carter.
I'm trying to think. I think it was Carter.
Yeah. And ever since, our test scores have been going down, down, down in the fire.
Yeah.
So
a little Johnny Cash here, are we?
Yeah, like a little bit of Elvis. So yeah, it's just been
Hello, Don and Joe.
a big boondoggle, and so yeah, Trump wants to take it back to the states, let them deal with it, and maybe if they did that, the states might say, you know what, maybe we could improve on our situation instead of doing the same old that got us in this hole. Maybe we could actually teach kids.
Well, yeah, and it's not like the Department of Education, the federal Department of Education has really done a lot for the, they did. There's that whole child left behind thing under
W.
George
Bush.
W. Yeah, George W. And I think more kids got left behind but after that than before that. So it's
Yep.
like every time they get involved, the government sticks his fingers in there. Of course, they're talking about, well, they'll take away the school lunch programs and all this. Maybe they might still put those programs in under under some of the Medicaid things or something like that.
Right.
Health and Human Services type situation.
Mhm.
And because as far as them doing anything, they have. I mean, I think it's ironic that when he was elected the first time, it was actually our Secretary of Education that went on to became the Secretary of Education up in Washington. And this time he got Mrs. McMahon, who is a wrestling promoter. I guess he figured she's going to have to wrestle to because she was the head of the Small Business Administration last time around. Now she's the head of Department of Education, which means she's probably he figures she's going to have to wrestle some of them people to the ground just to get them out of the building. So,
right. Well, speaking of buildings, did you see that video on Gutfeld where a bunch of congressmen or congresswomen were trying to get into the building of the Department of Education there in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, yeah, and the security guard said, no.
Oh,
yeah,
no. He was just totally nonchalant, nonplussed. I'm like, oh God, he was perfect.
Yeah,
Don't you know who we are? And I'm like, oh boy.
Like, hello, Steve and Cool Cat. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he just kind of like,
so
I expected him to say, well, do you know who I am? That would have been my response. Don't you know who I am? Well, do you know who I am? If you know me, then I know you. Otherwise, I don't know you.
And Maxine Waters is trying to get in. Here, get a picture of him. Yeah. I want you to see what he looks like. Like what? Are they going to dox him and have people show up at his home and throw?
That old prune needs to just dry up and blow away.
Yep.
God, when are they going to quit electing that old bat?
Well, when the idiots in Texas keep electing her and get tired, you know what? Maybe we want to primary her and maybe get a more reasonable Democrat. Kind of like, I don't know, Fetterman.
I laugh when I hear those comments like that. Somebody more reasonable like Fetterman. I thought that was the biggest joke in the world when he first got there.
Yeah.
But I give my hats off to the man. He's, having dealt with what I went through with Judy and her stroke, I knew what he was going through because I recognized it in her. But I got to give my hats off to him. He has recovered well. And not only that, but if he was a bleeding heart liberal in the beginning, maybe the stroke killed off that part of his brain that made him that way. And now he's, now he's thinking with common sense,
Right.
But I give him credit for that. I still not my cup of tea, but I didn't have to vote for him. But apparently the people in Pennsylvania really like him. So if he is serving them, which is all we ask of our congressional people, our representatives, is that they serve us the way they're supposed to, not serve themselves. And to
Right.
me, he seems like one that, I mean, obviously he's not getting rich, because otherwise he'd probably be wearing designer jogging clothes.
Yeah. Designer
You know?
hoodies.
Yeah, designer sweats, but
Yeah.
he's not,
Well, the old Democrat hoodies, they were white.
Yeah, they were. Oh, that was a good one, Art. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they invented hoodies. So
Yes, they did. Yeah. Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
They, kind of,
The white hoodies, yeah.
dunce cap looking,
Yeah, yeah.
with the
Which
pointy
I
hair.
always found it funny that the dunce cap and the Klan cap looked very much alike.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know? Are you saying that if you're stupid, you're going to become a Klansman? Is that what we're trying to teach you?
Yeah.
I
Well,
personally never had to
what
wear.
they say, stupid is as stupid does.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, it's I don't know. Uh Waters and that ilk. I mean, I just was watching something from Kelly McEnany. Is that her name? I can't ever remember how to say her last
Oh yeah,
name.
McEnany. Yeah. Yeah.
But she was talking about apparently now all of they've got some new talking points. Instead of it being Russia, 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 now it's constitutional crisis.
Oh
Everything is
yes, that
constitutional
is
crisis. Yeah.
constitutional crisis.
CNN, they've had all the talking points, including somebody that was considered to be learned. He's considered to be, but he's from Harvard. I don't know if that counts for an education anymore or not, but he's a scholar from Harvard. So, and
Right.
he's saying this is a constitutional crisis. And hello, Brian.
Hey, Brian, Michael, and Bill, cousin Bill,
Hey,
Uncle Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Yep, my uncle from another aunt.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill. Our traffic
Oh,
cones.
that's Steve
Playing in
Knowles.
disguise. Yeah, Clint. Yeah.
Yep. And Joe, Captain
Yep.
America.
Joe. Yep.
Mudball, he's here. Yep,
Yep.
Don's here to kind of correct us if we say anything wrong, especially U.S. history or
Don, yeah, he'll point it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to say things wrong just to see if he'll jump on my show to correct me. Fetterman did say some great stuff about Israel's right to self-defense, etc.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of feels the same way I do about him. So, yeah, I mean, as I said, he's not my cup of tea, but he's doing what he was elected to do.
Yep.
And that's more than you can say for a lot of those people,
Yeah.
I may be misspeaking, because maybe Maxine Waters is doing what she was elected to do, and that was make sure that the people in her little district gets all the kickbacks from business that they can get.
Yeah.
Make sure bribes are passed out evenly. I don't know.
Yep, all that money from USAID. Yeah.
Yeah, USAID. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big one now.
Oh yeah. It turns out Chelsea Clinton got a big chunk of that money.
Did she?
Yep. And even Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, I saw her up there spouting something. I can't remember who it was. She was griping about. Was it? I don't know if it was RFK. I think it was RFK.
Yeah, it was.
She was up there giving them some when they're getting ready to have the vote, and I just like, oh my God, does she actually listen to the stupidity that she says?
Right. Well, she is from Oklahoma.
No, she's not. No, she lost her. I don't know that she was born here. She may have been raised here for a time. But I don't know that she was born here. And if she was, she's already lost her citizenship as far as we're concerned. I think they've actually gone in and destroyed her birth certificate if she was.
Okay.
And they sent it to Hawaii.
Right. And part of the reason why the Democrats are just so up in arms about us looking into the spending of U.S. aid is where that money is going to. Even it's just crazy, all
Well,
this.
this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop it, and that's why they're getting ready to bring lawsuits, and that's what part of that.
Oh, they're already doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're already bringing lawsuits in there. So far, at least he's had two judges side with him in the last week, so on different things. So, but yeah, and that's what they're talking about, a constitutional crisis, because he's doing away with it, and they're trying to. And what it is if they can delay him long enough, that gives them enough time to hide the evidence.
Right.
Right. And that's all this is about. The longer they can delay, that's why Kash Patel is not been nominated, I think, because they're trying to get it cleaned up before he gets there.
Right. Right. Yeah, destroy the evidence. And, except the only problem with that is that's called tampering with the evidence. And they could get
when has that ever stopped the FBI?
that's true.
They're the biggest. They've been some of the biggest crooks in our history. Some of them, not all of them. The boots on the ground, but when it comes to those up above, if they can, look at J. Edgar Hoover.
Oh God,
yeah. When he died, they had to run in there and get rid of his dress before anybody found out he was a cross-dresser. So the story goes.
So yes.
I'm not saying that's truth or not. I don't.
Right.
Oh,
you think
go ahead.
Trump will get rid of the federal employee unions?
Yeah, that's another one they're raising hell about.
Oh, I hope they do, because even FDR said that they shouldn't do that.
Well, and the thing is the union brought a suit against him, saying that by this early buyout, that's unconstitutional, and that the union was going to get hurt by that. Union members were going to. What it comes down to is when that happens, those people that are leaving are no longer union members.
Yeah.
They're not active union members. They can't collect fees off of them. Well, a judge this week said, we don't see where you have any business sticking your nose into it, so I'm going to let it go through. And he said he has every right to, everything's the work of secret Klansmen and racism when the supply doesn't meet the demand. Yeah. We end up with Juicy Smollett. Yeah, exactly. My microphone is trying to attack me. Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the things that happened this week is a judge sided with Trump, and he's can't remember what it was last week he sided with him. Another judge sided. So, but that's, and they're going so far as to, they're saying that, well, they're not really talking about Trump. They're talking about his, you should never dress while you're angry. Yeah, cross-dressing. I get it.
Yep.
Cross-dressing causes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good, Bill. But but no, it's I honestly think that's the reason they're holding back on Kash Patel, because they got to get rid of they got to hide the stuff. They got to try to they're clearing out the people, and this is the problem with the USAID, or US aid, or whatever they want to call it.
USAID, yep.
Or us with AIDS, whatever they're calling that program now. It's like, is USAID anything like remote ID? That was always my question.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I remember when AIDS was a candy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
to help you lose weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I
Tastes
remember
like
that.
chocolate.
Yeah.
Tastes so good.
That
Oh,
commercial did not age well at all. No.
yeah, that's
Yeah, that commercial didn't age well at all. But
yeah.
no, I mean that's it, the money are wasting, and these and it's like they're coming. They're just actually setting themselves up for a loss in 2026.
Yeah.
They're going to lose more houses if they keep this up. If they don't figure out what lost them in the first place, I think
Right.
they're going to start seeing.
Don't tell them.
Well, that's true, maybe. Yeah, well, hopefully they're not watching this show.
Well,
Only only the smart people watch this show.
They're all watching The View. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, they're all watching The View. That's another.
So it's like their own echo chamber. They're not going to watch us. Maybe, I don't know, Fetterman might be watching us. Yeah.
Yeah, he might watch us,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should start putting hashtag Fetterman in here.
There,
in the see what
Fetterman.
happens.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Well, you could hashtag any big politician. They probably won't watch, but
no, but other people might.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, okay, yeah, a little, not quite clickbait, but
Yeah, there's only
nobody
7.
watches this show. Well, yeah, I wasn't going to say that, Don. I didn't want to hurt Art's feelings. Yeah, even these guys aren't watching it. They just got it on for the noise, while they fix supper or while they eat supper.
Well,
who attempted to enact lawfare on Trump.
To answer that question, because that's my state.
Right.
Pam Bondi today announced that she was suing New York State and personally suing Kathy Hochul, Letitia James, and I don't remember the guy who runs the DMV, because they have this. The guy who runs the DMV.
DMV
in New York State, because and I just found out about this today. This law and this lawsuit today. Apparently, we have a law in New York State where if ICE is coming in to question somebody or apprehend somebody, our government is supposed to tell them. Somebody in New York State government is supposed to call these people up and go, "Oh, by the way, ICE is coming to your home or to wherever you live."
Okay. Just
so like because of that, that makes, like, first off, that sort of makes New York City a sanctuary city.
Right.
That may make New York State a sanctuary state, but Pam Bondi didn't really get into that part of it.
Right.
But that law and New York State sort of violating federal law by doing what they're doing with this law and other sanctuary efforts, they're being sued by Pam Bondi. Now, people are going to say that's retribution. I genuinely hope it's not, because I know that a lot of people are looking for retribution. But this is something that I think Donald Trump really needs to stay away from. Actual retribution.
Yeah.
He needs to stay righteous. He needs to stay legal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All of us do, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping this isn't actual retribution, because we've got to do something about this, and we've got to make it stick.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it can't just be about political enemies and political retribution. Yeah. It's got to be about something more than that.
And I don't think that Pam Bondi is the type of person that would do that for just because he wants to get even. I mean, and she pretty much said she wouldn't just do it for retribution, that there had to be a good solid case before she would go after that, and I think she's probably got a lot of justification. This strictly has to do, and that the way she's doing it is the right and the correct way to do it is not.
Mhm.
They're going after the top people that are helping set up these sanctuary states and cities because they are in violation of federal law by protecting them. You know, and I'm like you. I hope it's not for retribution, but she didn't strike me from what I heard in her. Of course, she was trying to get nominated, but she really kind of laid the law down to him when they would hammer her, because I think that was one of the questions they kept asking. And they said, "Well, what if the president directs you?" Says, "I will not do anything that isn't legal." End of conversation. I'm not going in here looking for retribution.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks terrible on both sides.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I agree with you. He needs to keep his hands clean in this one. He needs to stay completely out of this. Uh, you know, she knows what his policies are, and if helping keep his policies in line or keep his policies going forward, if that's what she's got to do, such as this, they need to get these people deported. So the people that are standing in the way of that are these. I mean, because what does Trump? I mean, you think about what does Trump actually have against the guy that runs DMV?
Right.
You know, so that other than the fact that unless
Run DMV.
Huh?
Oh, that's DMC. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah.
Forget.
DMV. That's what you said, right, Charles?
Yeah.
Department of
Well,
Motor Vehicles.
Art's just.
I'm doing a reference from the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Walk this way. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Where Run DMC did a remake of Walk This Way.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember.
Brought in Aerosmith, and that restarted their careers. So anyway, let's get back to the political realm.
Yeah. Well, anyways, like I said, I don't think he has anything personal against the DMV. So, unless he didn't like his last New York driver's license picture or his mugshot, maybe, I don't know. So we'll see. I hope I agree with both you and Cool Cat. It doesn't look good for either party.
Right.
You know?
Right. So we've had some confirmations happening this week. We had Tulsi Gabbard was yesterday, and RFK Jr. today. Which is great. He's going to make America healthy again, and I hope he succeeds in that. I just found out a few weeks ago. Hey, you mean NyQuil doesn't do shit for colds? I don't know. They say a lot of these cold remedies, that they push on TV have no effect on flus or colds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you look at them in all their different parts, a lot of them are antihistamines, which is for allergies.
Yeah.
Okay. They've got decongestants in them, which is to help you, not be so congested. But as far as actually curing it, as long as you take care of yourself and drink lots of fluid and stuff, you're going to get better.
They're just purely symptom suppression. They don't actually
symptom suppression. Exactly.
And most of them will actually put you in a position where you're not going to be that well, because it's going to jack up your blood pressure, jack up your heart rate.
Yep.
They're actually, because they're symptom suppression, they're also to a certain effect energy suppression in your body. Your body generating the energy that it needs to fight off whatever you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only take NyQuil, unless I'm really feeling crappy and I need a good night's sleep. That's it.
And that's basically what it's for. It's like Charles says, it suppresses the symptoms. When
Yeah.
I was a kid, when NyQuil first came out, they sent out samples in the mail all the time, and
Right.
mom got a bottle of it, and I was forever coming down with pneumonia, or coming down with really bad lung infections, and so I was sick one time, and she gave that to me, and I guess I woke up in the middle of the night, and I got up and I was wandering around and talking. I don't remember any of it, but she realized that, and I was screaming and yelling. Apparently, I was having a walking nightmare.
Wow.
And she says, "Okay, that's it. No more NyQuil for you." And I've never had it since
Okay.
because it
So
just did
what's
that.
it
Yeah,
really good for a cold? It's vapor rub. Yep.
that's
Put
just myth.
a
It's
little
just
bit around my nose. It
yeah, it's just
clears me
menthol.
up.
Opens up your breathing passages. Is
Yep.
all it is. Yeah,
Yep. Put
which is
my
natural. I
CPAP
mean,
on.
that's
Yep.
yeah. Menthol's not bad for you.
Yep. Speaking of, menthols, have you seen this product called Boom Boom Stick?
I saw it for the first time last night on
Yeah,
Coast to Coast last night. He was talking about it. Bill Thomas.
right. And the people that developed this, they were on Shark Tank, and they handed out the guys samples, and they took a whiff of this, and they were, woo, wow, it just woke them up, and I thought, I probably the only thing I'm worried that I'll be too awake that I won't be able to sleep with my CPAP.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
don't
Before
smoke
you go to bed,
menthol
then.
for my cold. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, no, I don't smoke menthol. So,
yeah,
yeah, the thing I saw is one of the things that I have a problem with, and this is with it is, and Bill Thomas was doing it last night. Every few minutes he was snorting that thing. Well, uh, that creates a dependency on your sinuses to need the menthol to keep themselves cleared out. And I'm not sure whether they have any recommendations of what's recommended or not, but he
uh-huh.
is an hour and a half show, and I know he did it at least 4 or 5 times in that hour and a half. So it's like, okay. And if it gives you a boost, that's fine. But what are you know, yeah. And to me, snorting vitamin A and B up your nose just
Yeah.
isn't going to do you any good.
You know what? It's hard to cut up on a mirror with that razor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it gets
So I
all
guess
over the
if you're into
mirror.
snorting vitamins, I guess that is a way to snort your vitamins. So
Yeah. Unless you get the powdered kind, then you can crush it up and put it on the mirror and take the razor blade. Anyway.
yeah,
And that
you're
was
right.
references.
Yeah,
Yeah, going back to the 70s.
yeah. Yeah, it's probably smelling salts. Well, I don't know. Depending on the strength of menthol they put in, that can be pretty
Yeah.
eye opening.
Yeah. What and they got them in different flavors or scents. They
Yeah,
got
they do, but I think menthol is still a primary ingredient in
yeah, I
there,
think it is.
and that's
Uh
gonna that's gonna open up your sinuses. It's just like putting mentholatum in your nose,
yep.
or and you don't put it up in your nose. You put it around the
No,
edge.
you just kind of
You
put it like
you
right there.
pack it in there, then you can't breathe, or you're snorting the
Yeah.
wax down your throat. Oh God, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Technically, you're only supposed to put it right under your nose,
Yeah,
so the
that's
vapors,
right.
you know. Uh, but yeah,
And I would, you know what? I think the one with the orange lemon, the citrus. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Yeah, they got them. They even have a lavender one.
yeah.
Ooh,
Well, as far as the
yeah,
citrus one goes, have you ever accidentally swallowed wrong and spit, or somebody pop a joke and you spit orange juice through your nose?
yeah,
It burns.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think citric acid up my nose is what I want to do. I'm not saying if it works for you, hey, go for it.
Yeah,
I just saw that last night and I'm thinking the first time it was like, okay. And then a little while later he's taken again and, call it a sediment. Yeah. It's Tylenol. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They call it a acetaminophen here too.
Uh-huh.
The generic. And there you go. See, this is what happens right there. Right there. That's what happens right there when you snort too much stuff. See?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to quit snorting that stuff before you do the show there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you got a little white powder trail there. Yeah, a little white powder from
yeah,
from
there
before
you
the
go.
show. And he just reaches up to like, oh yeah, do I?
Alrighty. So, Tulsi Gabbard, the Department of National Intelligence. That sounds like an oxymoron for government.
It does, don't it?
National intelligence? What?
Yeah. What we need, some more national intelligence,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, she was going out with ICE agents and doing some of the busts,
Cool.
before she was even confirmed. She was going out with them,
Awesome.
And but yeah, it's well, I think she's the type of person I think's going to. Well, maybe was it Tulsi Gabbard or was it who's the head of Homeland Security? Is that Naomi, the governor from?
Oh, Kristi Noem.
Kristi Noem. Maybe it was her that. Maybe it was Kristi Noem that went out with.
Okay.
With ICE, I think it was. Right. I had to stop and think because I have to picture him in my head. Kristi Noem doesn't have the white streak in her hair.
Yeah, that's right.
Tulsi does. So it's like
Tulsi does. Yeah. And she's hot too. So is Pam Bondi.
You got to say, they say Trump hates smart women, but he sure is surrounding himself by a bunch of them.
Yeah. That's right.
They want to make it look like they're smart. The other side wants to make you think he doesn't want to be around smart women, but because they want you to think the women he's nominated are stupid, and they're not.
I know. These women that he's picked are real warriors. I've totally impressed listening to Pam Bondi today, and every time Caroline steps up to the plate, it's like it's like watching a ninja at work.
Yeah,
she's just fantastic.
Yeah, she does a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, she even comes with the receipts, and she just rattles off, all the baloney going on at, USAID, Yep. So, what else? Here's some. This is local
I like that,
news.
Joe. I agree.
Here in Colorado. You won't believe this, but Jefferson County here in Colorado has just elected a felon to be the party chair, the GOP party chair here in Jefferson County.
The GOP party chair.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you remember the show American Guns on the Discovery Channel?
Yeah, I do.
That guy, Rich Wyatt, that's him. He's the one that went to prison for, taxes is one, and orchestrating an inside robbery into his business, Gunsmoke.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
maybe they figure if one crook can make it to the president, at least this guy can make it to the House.
Well, this guy, there's nothing in the bylaws that says a felony or a misdemeanor bars you from being the county chair.
And, it really comes down to the fact if he has truly turned himself around and,
Yeah.
He served his time.
Right.
But I didn't think felons could vote.
Yeah. Well, this is Colorado. We're almost like California. So who knows? Maybe they gave him back.
Colorado used to, because I knew a couple of, or I knew at least one guy that he couldn't vote because he had a felony conviction.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
And, but they may have changed those rules, since I lived in Colorado anyways.
Yep. Well, a lot has changed, Lloyd.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes since I lived in Colorado. Well, maybe if I show up there this year, I can get them straightened out.
You'll get here. What the F happened in the state?
Yeah, that's probably what I'll be saying too.
Where I left, it was red.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. When I left the state, it was in pretty good hands. What did you guys do to this? All you guys. That's why I can ask all my classmates, what in the hell have you people been doing?
Yeah. Well, what happened was some knucklehead from out of state decided hey, I'm going to start a gun rights group here. And you know what? We don't like these namby-pamby establishment Republicans. We're going to start putting our own candidates, and it caused a rift in the state.
Oh yeah. As I've said before, the Republicans are the best. If an election could be lost, a Republican can do it.
Yeah. Well, luckily for us, we did pick up one House seat. That would be CD8, which is a new district, and which is now proudly controlled by Gabe Evans.
Okay.
So he's a freshman congressman.
What about what's her name? The gal that from was it Rifle, Colorado?
Yes. She moved to the Plains and took over Ken Butt's district.
Okay. All right. Okay. So and she did win it though, right?
She did win it.
Okay.
Overwhelmingly. Yep.
Good.
And the guy that won her seat edged out the Democrat that narrowly lost to her last time. So, but here's the problem. These same knuckleheads, they want to primary the guy up in Bobert's old district. And it's like, why? We got a Republican in there. Why are you trying to hand this to the Democrats? I mean, this is what I don't understand.
You got to remember, that's the same area that allowed them to put a big piece of parachute thing out there and called it Rifle Gap.
Yeah, right.
And now it's been changed to Parachute.
Yeah, Parachute. Yep.
Which, that's in that general area, so you can imagine what those people are like up there.
Yep. Well, we did have a Democrat in that district, and this was during Obama's first term.
Right.
Where a whole bunch of congressional districts here in Colorado went blue. And then after 2 years, they flipped back to the Republicans.
Yeah.
Like CD4 was won by a Democrat. Betsy Markey won because she defeated, there was a firebrand Republican woman up there that everybody hated. Anyway, the point is, she was only in the House for 2 years, and it flipped back. I think, it was Ken Butt that beat her. Yeah.
Okay.
And the Democrat that won in CD3 is the brother of Senator Chavez. Yeah, Chavez. Yeah. No. Anyway, he became Secretary of the Interior under Obama, and
Oh yeah, okay.
replaced by, oh yeah, it was Bennett. Bennett took his seat, and he's been in it ever since. So yeah. So we just had elections for state part, or we will have elections, I think, this weekend for state party chair. And I'm rooting for Britta Horn. She's from Teller County, former chief of the fire department up there, and pretty much runs the Republican Party in Teller County. Great guy, great gal. I've known her since 2010 when I first ran for House. And so Dave Williams and his band of drunken sailors are trying to keep her from winning. So now those people are called the Davadians. Yeah. I like to call them the Branch Davadians.
Branch Davidians.
Yeah. Because these are your guys that, no, we want strong conservatives across the board. Oh, so in competitive districts, you don't want to win that district? Because sometimes you gotta have someone that could win that district, and a strong conservative is not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because remember what William F. Buckley said: strong conservative if they could win.
That's true. That's true.
So we gotta find
and to represent a district that's a little bit that leans blue.
right.
You want somebody who's and you know, I think everybody we want a moderate government or a slightly right of center.
Right.
I mean, it would be great if we had ultra conservatives, but I don't think we'll ever get ultra conservatives, because if that's all we had, that's not representative of all the people in the United States. We got people that are a little left of center, a little right. I think most people are centrist,
Yes.
at some point. I say that in respect to we can, each one of us are conservatives in different points of view. Some of us are social conservatives, some of us are fiscal conservatives, some of us are both. There's but sometimes we're a little bit more to the center, or even slightly to the left of center, but we have basic core values that are closer linked to conservatism than we are liberalism.
Right.
And that's what the everyday person is. I mean, there's things that the conservatives do. Some of them I just shake my head at. I used to say for years that it seemed like every single year that we had a presidential nominee, the first plank at the platform was abortion.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we needed to have somebody who was pro-life. I agree.
Right.
But we didn't. We had other day-to-day issues that were just as important as that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree that I'm pro-life, and I have been. Did I freeze up, or did you guys?
Yep. Oh, there goes Lloyd. There's that Okie fiber optic at work. Lloyd. Hello, can you hear us, Lloyd? Nope, we don't have
Lloyd. Don't go into the light.
Ground control to Major Lloyd. Your circuit's dead. There's something wrong. Can you hear me, Major Lloyd? Can you hear?
I can hear you, but for some reason you can't hear me.
Oh, yeah, we
can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me now? Okay.
Yeah,
I just got to
pitch.
find out. Something happened with my camera, and I don't know what happened.
Ah, okay.
Let's see if I can bring it back. Oh, well, you guys can look at this for the time being until I figure out
all right,
what the
there
problem
you go.
is. Let's see. Videos, Logitech.
Cool Cat says, stay away from the light, Lloyd.
I will, yeah. Huh. Like my camera just up and died on me.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's on, but somewhere between. I've been having problems with losing sound, so I don't know what the problem has been. So it seemed like this thing was getting ready to go into standby, and it's not supposed to while it's open, So I don't know what in the hell is going on, but anyways, let me see if I can change cameras.
Okay.
Let's see if it has one.
So that's what's going on in Colorado politics. Yeah, we're just same old baloney going on. Oh, nice test pad.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty anyways, right?
Yep. Kind of getting the feeling of the 70s when they.
Yeah. Well,
we're having technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Please stand by. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. The hell. I don't know. Anyways, continue on. I can still talk.
Alrighty. So what else is going on? Anything going on around the world here? I know what's going on in China. I get. I think there's some Americans that are trying to buy TikTok, where China will still have control, but the U.S. company will control all the data. It'll all go to Oracle and not China. So, but China it'll be kind of like a franchise or something.
Right.
Where they get their cut, they're just letting us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where they're basically buying an American license for it.
Right.
It's be licensed through a company here in the United States, and the rest of Europe can see it. The rest of China and all those countries can see TikTok, but the United States will have our own version controlled here.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing, and Trump is talking about a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum. So is that I'm guessing that's steel and aluminum coming into the U.S.
Yeah.
So, that'll prevent countries like China from dumping cheap, steel and aluminum and driving down our prices. Yeah.
Well, apparently, I don't remember the details. A few days ago, I watched a video that touched right on this, and apparently, what it was, we already put a tariff on Chinese steel, and for a short period of time, the price did go up, but then it dropped to below its pre-tariff levels.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's good. Well, he's just trying to make everything. He's trying to make it where there's a fair trade between us and the other countries.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really have to get our industries back up and running.
Right. And a lot of these companies overseas, they're starting to bring plants here in the United States, which is a good thing. It creates jobs and and a tax base for the United States.
Right.
Yeah. And so what I'm hearing something about Trump saying no taxes for seniors. What's that all about?
Well, it's for seniors that, okay, if you're on Social Security or you're a senior and you're living on Social Security or you're on Social Security, but let's say you have another job,
Right.
okay, and you make over a certain amount of money, well, then they will tax you on that. And because there are people that make a certain amount combined with their retirement, their Social Security, they have outside jobs working as Walmart greeters or whatever,
Right.
and that money is taxed
Ah.
because it's over the allowable or whatever.
Right.
And this way they will, this way they won't be taxed. And
Okay.
for instance, somebody who had a 401k or some big retirement program and they're drawing Social Security, well, anything above a certain amount is taxed. And he's trying to eliminate that for seniors.
Oh.
So
Okay. Cool.
I don't,
Interesting.
all my income's non-taxable anyway, so I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
But yeah.
And he's talking about no taxes on tips. So I mean that's great for people that work for tips,
Yeah, exactly. Because, and tips have gone, and fortunately people that, a lot of people, they have to, used to, when you gave a tip to somebody, you just slipped them a couple of dollars or left it on the table. It was cash. They put it in their pocket. But
Right.
then back somewhere along the line, they said, no, we can't do that anymore because that's got to count as your income. So we got to put it in a jar that everybody pulls from. Well, some of the people may not have done that much business that day. People just didn't want to sit at their table because they might be lousy at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And so people who tip us, and that's why both James and I, when we always ask, do you get the tip? Because if they don't get the tip, we won't leave one.
Ah.
Okay. Because a lot of times it'll go into the till for the day,
Right.
and they won't pay them on that.
Oh. Okay.
See, so they don't get to take it home. A lot of waitresses, some of them can make $100 a day if they're good.
Right.
And that's damn good money. But because they're not getting paid, but $1.25 an hour, they're damn sure ain't getting minimum wage. I say $1.25, they're probably getting more like $3 an hour, but still, it's it's not fair the way they do that. When they when they started compensating, or because basically when they started that, they started taxing them, because the reason for that, to put all the money in a till was so that they could, all right, we're paying out, we're putting all this money into the company till, and then at the end of the week, we've listed it all as tips, and at the end of the week, or at the end of the next pay period, we'll pay out those, whatever those tips are, minus tax.
Oh, okay.
That's the reason. That's the whole reason they went to doing that.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be a fair wage thing to start out with, but then they came along and added the tax, and it was just another way for them to get more money. And and most wait staff, that's the only money they make. That's the only real money they make. They might, and they have bills like everybody else, but they're really one of the lowest paid people and have to put up with a lot of crap in a lot of places.
Right.
Uh, you know, bunch of, overweight, bald-headed men with their drinks in their hand, reaching out and grabbing their ass and stuff. It's not, that's no way to treat that's no way for an employee to be treated anyways. But for them to be docked some of their wages on top of that is just, unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, that's the reason he's going to try dropping the tax rate, because that way at the end of that pay period, they will get to take, or it becomes a point where it's no longer, feasible for the employer to take the tip money. Instead, he said, "Oh, we don't tax it anymore. You just keep your damn tips. I don't want to know about it."
Right.
And so, anyways, that's my say on it.
Alrighty. So that's what's going on. I think they're going to be finishing up with the not nominations, but the confirmations. Will end this weekend, which will be good. And then Trump's already on, hitting the ground running, and he's doing more in 2 weeks than the other guy did in 4 years, which
Exactly,
is amazing.
Don.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, we've managed to make it an hour, and I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming. You all have a great week. Don't forget to watch my drone show, Artco Drones and Entertainment, tomorrow night, an hour earlier. So come on over.
7 o'clock Central Time. Or no, 6 o'clock Central Time.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
So, and then Bill's show on Saturday, which is at
8 o'clock Central Time.
That's right. So y'all have a great weekend and enjoy, and God bless. Good night, everybody.
All right, everybody, take care. I'm waving at you.
Good night, folks.